Yeah.
This is K.O.P.A, the roar, the pride. Brothers in boots, we stood side by side. We built the league, we built a name. We played for love, not fortune or fame. This is K.O.P.A, our hearts are song. The spirit leaves, it's never gone.
Yasas Kopelia, welcome to This is K.O.P.A. Stel's here, Mike's here, and we have got a special guest again, Mike, don't we, young man?
We do, and hello everyone again after a couple of weeks hiatus. First of all, got to say, Stel, congratulations on that Les Ferdinand pod. I think it was fantastic. Had loads of feedback, and our guest today actually played with Les Ferdinand. I'm sure he's got a couple of stories to share with us. But today we've got Chris Kalli. Chris is one of the legends of K.O.P.A. What I would say played during the golden years of K.O.P.A. Played for some of the biggest teams, Bognor, Salamina, Anorthosis. Also, I think I'm right saying you're assistant manager as well, Chris, when the LFA team, the LFA Cup final, when K.O.P.A beat the London Turkish League. But more of that to come. Chris, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, all good.
Excellent. So, before we crack on, tell us about a nice segue. Tell us about your time with Les Ferdinand Aachen.
Yeah, we a couple of seasons for enough with Les. He played up front with George Artie, prolific goal scorer. He was very, very good. He's head and shoulders. You can see he had that little bit extra. He was. When he jumped up for a ball, he was like on the ladder, you know what I mean? And his pace and his power. So it was no surprise when K.O.P.A picked him up. And then he went, first he went to Hayes, and then from Hayes, K.O.P.A picked him up. And then they shipped him off to Turkey for 2 years. And when he came back, he became the player that he was. Because I think he had one more season at K.O.P.A, then he ended up going to Newcastle, and the rest is history. But yeah, he was a very powerful player, very powerful. He was very good. You could tell he had the talent, and he had that extra. That boy was going to be a pro. It was written all over him.
Excellent. So, Chris, tell us how you first got involved with K.O.P.A. Which clubs did you play for, and what made those times special for you?
Yeah, I was playing at the time. I was playing for Bognor Regis in the Southern League. My parents moved out to Bognor when I was 14. I ended up playing Sussex County, and played for Bognor Regis. I moved back up to London when I was 16 on my own. Still travelling backwards and forwards, playing for Bognor. And my cousin, Chris Kalli, God rest his soul, who passed away earlier this year, said to me, "Why don't you come and play with us?" And I said, "Who's that?" And he said, "Greek League, K.O.P.A." Well, Greek League? What's this Greek League? He said, "No, you'll love it." And my first game, and that was, I signed up for Salamina, because Chris was with Salamina, and my first game was at Hackney Marshes, and there was probably about 1,000 people there, and I thought, this is Sunday football, and I had no reflection and no idea that the Greeks had I hardly even knew any Greeks, to be honest with you. I was brought up in Edinburgh, went down to Bognor Regis, and then to come back and play with Greek boys and in this Greek league was brilliant, fantastic. It just opened up, and then as the early years come along, and I saw the standard of some of these players. I was no mug, but the standard of some of these players was unbelievable. And I thought to myself, surely this can't be, why are these boys not playing at a higher level? But it was just fantastic. And the crowds in them days were unbelievable for Sunday league football. It's from Hackney Marshes to New River to Market Road you know, it was just like everywhere you went, it was crowds. It was really good, excellent.
Excellent. So, Chris, take us through your journey as a player. So, you started at Salamina.
I start,
Go on and take us through your journey.
Yeah. Okay, I started Salamina. Loved my time with Salamina. Enjoyed my introduction to the Greek League. I then went and signed for Anorthosis. And I had 5, 6, 7 years with Anorthosis. Really great times. Played some great players as well. We had a fantastic side. Really, the likes of Blondie, Chris Durr, Chris Andrews, Tony Costantino, Mario, little Italian Mario, Sesto, Sava.
Mario Correa.
Yeah, Mario Correa. Sesto, his cousin. Pete, I'm trying to remember his surname now. Pete Zenu as well. Pete Zenu as well. Mainly Andy Gotch.
Were you in the team that won the league in 1980?
Yes, 1980. Yeah. So because that's when me and Chris joined up. We signed up that season. So we went together there, and Johnny Hartnell. I don't know if you remember Johnny Hartnell. Fantastic player. But yeah, and then from Anorthosis, I went to Ebniz, and Ebniz with Steve Pantelli as his assistant, help him out. And then unfortunately Steve passed away, and then I took over the side. I took it over and managed them for a couple of years, and I introduced in them days George Georgiou. Played him when he was 14 years old, and the committee was saying to me, "Why are you playing a 14-year-old?" And well, his talent just stood out. You know, I saw a player in him, and the rest is it. I mean, he just proved it himself. The talent he had on the football pitch, and went on to bigger things. We went to Fulham and everything else like that. So yeah, Tony Bash. Tony Andrews at the left back. I played him on his debut as well, 16 years old, 15 years old. So I really enjoyed my time there. Enjoyed it. Also with K.O.P.A, won a cup with K.O.P.A as well. Played with K.O.P.A a couple of seasons. K.O.P.A now, as they're called. We won the League Cup on that season. So yeah, and then I ended up a little spell with IL. With old Shoebox, good manager. I mean, that's another thing I like. I've played with some great managers. I mean, Mad Nick, unbelievable. What a manager, and the way he used to talk in the change room, and he'd be crouched down on the change room floor with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He'd do his tactics on the floor, you just look at them. I mean, it's just they were unbelievable people and unbelievable. I was very lucky. I played in some great sides and with some great players, the likes of Nick Chagallé, right? Tony Georgiou. I thought it was a million miles ahead of everybody at that time. Should have been a pro. Tony should have been a pro. It's just like Andy Gotch. Panny left back for Ammonia.
Some amazing names there, Chris. We've heard them through lots of our guests, and obviously anyone who knows about K.O.P.A. But back when you won the league with Anorthosis, that was the time when teams like AL were like the big teams. And I always say, when we talk to people like you and from your era, I call that like the golden era of K.O.P.A because of the players you mentioned. Tell us about that season. How did Anorthosis do it? Because really, that was the first title for Anorthosis, and they sort of weren't expected to win the league, but you guys did it. Tell us about that season.
I think it's just a collection of the players that we had, and we were all together. We were so together. You know, we all then went out together as a group. We were with the teamwork and the way we played and everything about that side at that time. We were buzzing, you know, and you know, you even get it today. You get like football. You get a team that one season is going to excel, you know, and do something out of the ordinary. But we had a very balanced side, you know, and we had good players. So if somebody got injured, the player that coming in was doing the same job, and they was just as good. You know, our squad was very, very good at the time. You know, I just think we just surprised a few people. We had a goal scorer. You know, we had Andreas up front. It's just before Tony Costantino. We had Andreas up front, who was a whiz kick. He was a whiz. You know, knock him with the ball in front and bang, it's in the back of the net before you could say. So, you know, we just had a very balanced side, very, very good side. You know, but at that time, you've got to remember how strong that K.O.P.A League was. You had Anorthosis, you had IL, right? You had KLN. KLN were phenomenal, right? Led by Marios as centre half, Banico in midfield. You know, you had Ammonia. Ammonia were unbelievable. You know, every position, Ammonia was strong in every position. You know, and so every game, it was never an easy game. And you say that is never, there wasn't really, because we had 5 or 6 teams at that time that were so strong, and that really carried it forward. And it carried to the extent where we weren't frightened of no one. You know, when we used to play LFA, I mean, they would dread pulling a Greek team. You know, other leagues will dread pulling like getting drawn against the Greek side because we were that strong. And what made it even stronger is a lot of the non-Greeks players, like the Walthamstow boys, Danny and Trevor Bailey, Brian Hines, you know, those type of players, they coming in from their leagues to join us because they heard of the Super League and we were so strong. And that's what it was like. You know, Tony Martin, another fantastic player. You know, it's just yeah. For me, it was the creme de la creme, in my opinion.
If I pass over to Stel, during that era, Chris, tell us who were the toughest. You told us about the teams. Who are the toughest players you came up against?
I didn't think anybody was tough against people. No, they weren't. Listen, there were some strong players. I mean, obviously, if I go non-Greek for starters, somebody like Barry Henley was strong, powerful. You never thought he was a footballer with his long blonde hair. Yeah, Tim and Newbury as well. But the Greek boys, Shagali, Tony Georgiou, you know, fantastic player. Yeah, those type of players. I mean, as a centre half, I was coming up against good centre forwards, you know, so I always had to be on my game all the time. But yeah, to be honest with you, I never thought anybody was going to beat me in the air. You know, so I was always ready for that game. I was always ready to compete. But
that's why you were known as the general, right?
That's it, yeah. But it was a great time. Great time. I mean, if I could just skip forward a little bit, I mean, for me, the highlight for me was captaining Mikhti, being the captain for the Mikhti. And also I think my greatest game as a manager and player was for an officer against Continentals. I don't know if you know, I've heard of Continentals before.
Yeah.
Blackside, played in White Hart Lane, opposite New River. They had the Delroys and everybody else, and they were playing in the Greek League as well. You know, some of them boys, right? 4-0 down at half time, and we ended up threw a few cups and saucers in the change room, went out there and we beat them 5-4. You know, and that for me, that game there was unbelievable. And we lost the player, he broke his leg. left back, broke his leg, unfortunately, in that game. But we went on and we won it. And that for me was probably the best game as a player and as a manager at that time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Chris, I wanted to ask about your early days within the K.O.P.A because you mentioned you were in Bognor Regis and you weren't aware of a Greek league existing. But when you joined Salamina, what was the vibe you got at the club? Because what I want to know is how did the people within K.O.P.A League feel about it? Did they see it as just a kickabout, or was it more than that? Did it mean
No.
more?
100%. That was the first thing that I noticed, how serious they took it.
Right.
Right? It wasn't just turn up on a Sunday morning, and kick the ball back. They took it very, very serious. I got to know the committee. Obviously, I got introduced to the committee, but the intensity of training, when you turn up on a Sunday morning, what goes on in the change room, when you get out of the pitch before you get warm up and everything else. It was like being at a semi-pro club. It was literally, I've gone from a Saturday to do the same thing on a Sunday, and I thought, this is no pub league, this is no pub football, this is proper. And that's from day one, that's what I took on board. How serious and how motivated not only the players but the committee, the managers, the fans, they really supported their club.
What was their attitude towards losing games, though?
Nobody likes to lose, do they? Nobody likes to lose. To be fair, yeah, it's more of nobody likes to lose, and if you lose, especially a big game, few words are said in the change room or whatever on the pitch, whatever. But it is it's you get up, put it to bed, get a training, put it right. What went wrong, you try and put it right, and then put it right, and then get on the pitch on the Sunday, and away we go again. Because the next game is going to be just as hard as the last game. 1 minute you're playing the Mona, next minute you're playing IL. K.O.P.A, K.O.P.A, it's all game. It's every game was very hard, very hard.
Chris, if you don't mind me asking, how old were you at the time when you joined Salamina?
I joined Salamina in 1977, so I was 17.
Right. So
16, 17, yeah.
As a 16, 17-year-old, seeing the reaction to losses, and I'm assuming there might have been a slight overreaction because, K.O.P.A,
Yeah.
Were there any moments where you felt, what the fuck am I doing here?
No, I'll be honest with you, because I was playing non-league football. I was playing semi-pro football from the age of 15 in Bognor Regis. I got into their first team when I was 16. So playing down there as well and playing semi against men, it was a question of I had that sort of upbringing and I could handle myself. I think for me it was initially when I first joined the Greek League, it was a little bit of a stand back and thinking, wow, you got the likes of Andy Polycarpou, who went on to play at the South End. You got the likes of Punchy, who I played with at Salamina as centre halves with him. You got the likes of Tony Georgia, who should have been a professional. Nick Chevalier. And you think to yourself, well, these are proper men. These are proper players. And they should step up. Why they never? I can't answer that. But yeah, I mean, it was very, very powerful, very powerful. And I think the biggest regret I think the Greek League have got was there was a time when there was a lot of talk of amalgamation between 3 or 4 clubs to play under K.O.P.A and move on, move a Cypriot team into like the National League, or but I felt at the time, I think there was a lot of jealousy between certain individuals in certain clubs in terms of committee. One didn't want to do this, one didn't want to do that. It never happened because I think that it should have happened, really. I mean, like Salamina have now gone, they've gone a couple of years ago, they went and joined. Elect finance, elect sponsorship and funding, which did help them. And now Ryan Herbert is trying to get them going again. So they've got another junior side trying to get through now on a Saturday or on a Sunday, just trying to build them up again. It's like Tom Louisa at K.O.P.A. He's done a great job for Haringey, and he's invited Cypriot players to go and play for him at K.O.P.A. So, I just feel that at that time, I think we had the most powerful and the most respected league in England. Nobody could come and mock the Cypriot League at that time, because I think the Cypriot League was very, very strong. Very strong.
Well, Chris, one more question before I send it back to Mike. You mentioned the fans, thousands showing up, right? Again, non-league. What did you witness from? I was going to say the stands, but there weren't stands. But what did you see any Cypriot shenanigans going on? Were there any souffles going on? Were there, I don't know, games of tuggy like in the image here?
No, there was definitely the raffles. The raffles always got me when I had a bottle of whiskey. By the time they'd done the raffle, the bottle of whiskey had gone. But yeah, they were very, very, very strong in their support. Let's put it that way. You had one team on one side, you had the other team on the other side. It was just a question of trying to keep them apart. It was bad enough to try to keep the players apart, let alone the fans. But but my first experience was at Hackney Marshes with Salamina, and I think we played Ammonia that day, and it was just, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. But I think the fans loved it as well. I think that the people that went and supported it enjoyed what they were seeing, and they followed their club. They actually followed, and they wanted. I mean, we used to travel by coach sometimes, especially when you got Noet came through, and we had to go to South London and things like that. We're hire a coach, and away we go. We all go together. It was brilliant. It was just that togetherness, and I made some great friends out of it as well. Made some great friends, and that was the beauty of it all as well. We had good relationships, we had good friends. We went out, we enjoyed ourselves, we partied, we come home, we get up in the morning, bang, we're there. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we're there, ready to play football. And that's what it was all about for us. Get up, go and play football, go to a pint, and then away we go.
Brilliant. So, Chris, as I said, in my mind, that was the golden era of K.O.P.A, because of the characters, the teams, the quality, the respect the league had. As someone who played in that era and was around in that era, how did you feel about K.O.P.A in the more recent times, and obviously with its eventual decline and the fact that it doesn't exist anymore? How do you feel about that? Tell us about that.
I actually feel quite gutted, really. I feel very sad about it. I sort of retired early-ish. I retired at 35, but I went into junior football. I concentrated on my boys. I mean, Michael, goalkeeper for Salamina, and to this day, I know he's my son, but I think he was the best goalkeeper in K.O.P.A's history, my opinion. The boy is quality. My other sons have played as well. Dimitri played for Dynamo. So, and again, another goalkeeper, funny enough. But I think that was the last, like the likes of Tony Ponu, Tony Philippou, that era. After that, there was nothing coming through. Nothing coming through. Nobody wanted to take on that after them. And I think it was just laziness. I don't think that that generation after the Tonys and that generation then didn't want to do the training, didn't want to turn up and play football, preferred to go out and stay out and all that. And I find it as such a sad look. And also, I think, and I don't know personally because I wasn't involved, but being a little bit on the outside, listening to what was going on the inside, I think there was a lot of jealousy as well from certain clubs. And I think in the end, the bickering just destroyed the league. And that's why now we don't have a separate K.O.P.A League. We're trying to rekindle it. Kip Kipiano is organising these vets at Trent Park every couple of months and try and get people together, which is good. But we need the youngsters. If we were to redevelop and recreate what we had back then to now, it's going to take a hell of a lot of work and a lot of money because you obviously grounds and things like that. But I just feel so sorry the way it just collapsed, and it should never have collapsed really. It should have been kept going, but it didn't, and unfortunately,
it is a shame. It is a shame. I mean, you mentioned earlier, Ryan at Salamina now trying to obviously resurrect Salamina in the Barnet Sunday League. I'm vice chair of the league and I referee in the league as well. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware that the top 5 teams in that division are Cypriot teams.
Yeah.
And you've got Olympia as well in the first division and Trent Park as well. You got Ammonia. You got K.O.P.A. Obviously, K.O.P.A are in that division as well in the championship. Steve Sinotti doing amazing stuff with Olympia in the Prem. So the teams exist. The teams are there. But obviously the structure of K.O.P.A and people have said that it's the bickering, it's the jealousy, to use your words, and it's a shame how it ended. But we still have community representation at a good level. Maybe not as
No, we do. I mean, I've seen a couple of Salamina games. I've been there and I've supported them, whatever. The lack of great boys, separate boys, right, is very, very minimal. And for us to get that back, to make it the other way around, more Cypriot players than English players, or whatever, it's trying to get them back involved. But I just don't think they've got the appetite. The youngsters today don't have the appetite that we used to have. I used to live, breathe, and die for football. For me, it was football. Football. We'd go out, get back Sunday morning, away we go. Trained, played. We played midweek as well. Don't forget, we played in midweek. So over at Newmarket, Market Road. So we just play football. We love football, but I think today's youngsters don't love football as much as we did, or playing it.
I think there's an element of truth there, and there's a lot of distractions now. There's a lot of distractions as well, which doesn't help.
Mike, I don't think it's that. I think a lot of them think that they can make it at academy level at a Premier League club. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They feel that they're too good to play in the Sunday League. They want to play for even like a Stevenage, or they want to play for a Wycombe Wanderers, for example. They feel that they're above playing the Sunday League football. Listen, I'm not going to go into it, mate. Honestly.
But you're right. You're right. You're right. And the thing is, the only way you're going to get there is by playing on a Sunday. And when the scouts are there, in my day, there was scouts every game. Nowadays, I don't know about scouting and how much of this scouting goes on. But to get anywhere near that sort of level. It's one out of well, don't know how many. One out of 1,000. One out of an academy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I always used to
Well,
say,
the statistics say it's less than 1%
Yeah.
of young boys. If we're talking men's football, who actually make it from an academy into
Yeah.
the pro level. But I think in the last, if we're going to go down this road, and in my opinion, opinion of many actually, back in your day, professional clubs weren't as organised as they are now. The academy system, the scouting system, picking kids up at 7, 8, 9 years old. Yeah. Whereas now they're picking up really young, and they're telling them not to play Sunday League because they've got to play for their club teams, whether it's a third division, a second division club, or whatever. So we have lost that, unfortunately. But as you say, is there that love for football to play on a Sunday anyway? And I don't think there is. And I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either. Personally, I don't think there is. But
do you know what? Do you know what? Right? I'll give you an example, which again, for me, okay, people are going to say I'm being petty and I'm just nitpicking here, but I'll give you an example. My daughter goes to Greek school every Saturday, right? And by her Greek school, there's like a couple 4G pitches because I think it's the school's premises, so they rent it out to these Sunday League or kids teams, right? And this is the one thing that I saw, and I was like, you're not being serious. This kid's walked into the school for whatever reason to go to the toilet, and he's wearing his football boots. And I'm saying to myself, those studs, you're going to wear them down, yeah? And it's just these little things where I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's just these little things. Again, maybe I'm just being particular, but it's just these things that, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird like that.
No. I mean, I've got 5 granddaughters, and 2 of them play football. My Isabella, oh sorry, 6. Sorry, I've just been corrected. 6 granddaughters.
We'll edit it out. Don't worry.
It's all those headers, Chris. All those headers.
I know. And 2 grandsons.
Now I know where the whiskey went. Now I know where it went.
And 2 grandsons. But my eldest granddaughter, she plays football. But my 8-year-old, Dimitri's daughter, up in Liverpool, she plays for the girls, and she plays in the mixed team. But she's also been invited now to go and join Liverpool Academy. So, and she's progressing really well, and she's enjoying her football. She loves it. But, so I'll go up there. When I go up there and watch her, and I look at the amount of teams up there that are playing, and there's mixed teams, there's girls teams, there's boys. It's packed. It's packed. And then I come down here and I come back there and I look around here. There's nothing. There's nothing. Nobody don't really care, And I just think when I was coaching youngsters, my kids and when my Michael was 10, 11, I coached David Livermore, Jake Livermore's brother, cousin, who went to Millwall. Omar Rizza played for me. Yeah, he was at West Ham. He's now a manager. I'm trying to remember. He's a manager in the Championship team.
Is it Cardiff?
Yeah, Cardiff. Yes. And they were players, But I used to say to parents, let your kids. Oh, my kid's been picked up. He's 7 years old. He's been picked up by Arsenal or Tottenham and Chelsea. I said, can I just say something? Let them enjoy their football first. Because if they're good, and if they're good, they get picked up when they're 10 or 11. But 8 years old, 7 years, let them enjoy their football. Let them enjoy their football. Let them go and play with their mates and, experience what it's like. Instead of being told, in them days, they couldn't play for anybody other than the school. And if they were taken at 7 or 8 years old, they couldn't play for any Sunday. They had to play for the academy. So, they play games maybe one a week or one. Whereas instead of they were playing with their mates in a park or things like that, who knows? But those were. I'm not sure what the rules are now, but I know in them days you could not play for it. But if the school wanted you to play, you had to play for your school.
Well, interesting you say that, Chris, because I don't know if you know, I'm a school teacher, and I've had some really good teams in the past, and teams which had some academy boys involved. And when the boys got a little bit older, I had to ask permission from their pro club. One of them is very close to your heart, whether their player could play for the school team. Whereas you're right, back in the day, school took precedence.
Yeah,
you played for your school team, but. That said, though, Spurs were always very good to me. They said, look after him because we trust you, but you've got to be careful because he's obviously with us. He's one of our boys. Yeah. And, Arsenal were good like that as well. Leyton Orient, they were very good. But that's because we had that relationship and they came to see us. Whereas, if you take the piss, then they'll just say, no, they're not playing. And they'll tell the parents he's not playing for the school and that's it. Did you see what I mean? So it's a dream. If you're at a club at a young age, if you actually make it a club and you're still there at 13, 14, 15, it gets close. They can start smelling it, and the parents start thinking, and the young person starts thinking as well. But you've got to look after them, and that is the right thing to do. But I agree with you. I've had players. I've said, when I was managing my Omonia youth team, good players, and I said, look. Sunday with your mates, have fun. Come and enjoy yourselves. If you're going to play Saturday, that's your serious football. By all means, go and have your serious football. Go and play football, but don't neglect the fun part. Come and play with your mates. And a lot of them did. And a lot of them stayed for a long time. A lot of them have gone on and played at a better level. But you're right. I don't think there's enough young people who love football the way that the previous generations did.
And also, at that age, 15, 16, other things start coming into it. Yeah. That shape. They start coming into the equation, and it's, where do I go? Do I go training, or should I go out with Earl? Should I take Earl? It's that distraction.
Yeah.
If you're really focused on it and you want to become what you want to become, then all that, you've got to push all that aside. And that's when if they're really serious about what they want to do, and if the club will take you on as well. It's all down to the club. But in the end, like you said, 1 in 1,000, maybe. What Tottenham, I think they released last season, I think they released something in the region of 30 players, something like that, from the academy.
Yeah.
So, kept 2 or 3.
Yeah. But, it's not unusual. Not unusual.
No.
Chris, back to K.O.P.A then. Any funny or crazy moments on or off the pitch, training, matches that you want to share with us and share with our listeners?
Yeah, Andy got broke my nose in training in the gym at school. I can't remember what school it was now. It was somewhere up in Highgate, I think. Yeah. And he went up for a ball like that, and I had my elbow up. He had his elbow up, and he just caught me on top. But yeah, we. I think in terms of, I think we just enjoyed every game. I think every game had. Every game we had an incident where it was a bit either funny or serious, but yeah, we used to go to Cyprus, and obviously we used to go to Cyprus, and every year we went, the committee took us over there. We used to play, the pro sides over there. We never lost a game, and we had a return match over here, and we played at New River. And I was going through their centre forward like no tomorrow, and he turned around in Greek and said to one of the players, "Bedul Dudo and Philly got." And I said, "What did you just say?" He said, "Take it easy. It's a friendly." I said, "Tell him I don't do friendlies, mate." And he looked at me and he said, "Belos." He said, "Belos." It's just things like that. It's just like, I mean, I had fun with Shoebox, Jimmy Cattle. I just managed, and Nick, I love Nick. Nick was a fantastic manager. We got on really well as well. We went when I was captain for the Mihdir as well. We went over to Holland, and me and George Vava, goalkeeper, we decided to fly over rather than go by coach with the rest of the team. We went over a few hours, so we got out there early. So we got off the plane at Amsterdam, got in a cab, driving towards Amsterdam, and I goes to the guy, how far to the hotel? I said, how far to, where's the red light area? And he says, you're in it. So we got out the cab, and there was the hotel, right? So we've gone in, we've gone up to the room. It was like being in a prison cell. Yeah, bricks underneath, on top, and on top you had the blanket, like the bed sheet. And so when Van Nava turned up with the rest of the players, he looked at where we were and went, Ade, Fef coming, eso. I don't know if you remember a guy who used to do the coaches, Dino.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who organised this trip.
Right.
And as captain, I went to Van Nava, I pulled him aside, I said, listen, calm down.
Dinos
said,
Travel. Dinos Travel in
Yeah,
Harringay.
he organised that.
He used to sponsor Cosmos, didn't he?
That's right, and he organised the trip. So we ended up in this hotel. It was right in the middle of the red light district, right? It was like I said, bricks under the bed, under the mattress. And Van Nava wanted to go back. He wanted to just go. And I said, I pulled him to one side. I said, listen, Van Nava, you must think I'm here. We're here. Let the players relax, and we go. We still do our training, and we go and play our game, and then it's done. And he said, okay. All right, so we've done that. He was very strict. He wanted us to go for a walk. We go for a walk before the game, an hour before the game, or 2 hours, whatever. Anyway, on the day of the game, we go to this ground, lovely ground, stadium, and pitch and stands and everything. And we saw this old boys coming out, playing or warming up. We thought they were just like, I goes to Chris Andrews and Andy Saba, left back. I goes, what are they doing? I thought they've got to be part of the coaching team or something like that. Well, it wasn't. We were playing against them, and I think we're 10, 11. I think we're 11-0 up by half time. It was just embarrassing. I thought, why give us a game like that? It was just unbelievable. So, I think he changed the whole squad at half time to give a couple of the other boys a go. But yeah, it was moments like that. And as I said, the game against Continentals was a brilliant game. Really, really like to do that to the Continentals who never used to get beat. And even when we went back to the White Hart on the corner opposite New River, that was their pub. We took that over as well. But yeah, no, we had some great times. And for me, it was the friendships as well. Even to now. I mean, like Shags, I spoke to Shag Ali the other day. Trying to meet up at Brisagi. I see Tony Bash, I see George I see Tony Costantino quite a lot. So yeah, it's the friendship that I made by playing this, playing in the Cypriot League. Because it's true, I never knew no Greeks, mate, until I joined the Greek League, other than my cousins. So it was fantastic.
One more question from me before I pass you over to Stel.
Yeah.
Fast forward, so after your playing career, fast forward to May 2011. I mentioned it right at the beginning. You were one of the assistant managers when the K.O.P.A team got through to the LFA Interleague Cup final.
Yeah.
Tell us about that cup run. Tell us about the final, because the K.O.P.A team, I think they've won it over 14, 15 times. But yeah, tell us about it. 2011.
We always struggled against the Turks now and again, to be fair. In fact, the year that Jimmy Cowell was manager, and we played them at Wingate and Finchley, and we lost on penalties. I had my appendix. I almost burst my appendix playing for playing at Market Road in a league game. But yes, that one we had a good cup run. We had good players. We had a good strong squad. And like I said, we very similar to. I mean, we doubled up in every position. We had strong players in every position. I would maybe like with goalkeepers as well. We had Nea Salamina. We had George Vavel. We had good goalkeepers. We had my Michael as well, who was young at the time. He was coming through. So yeah, we had a good side, and we deserved it as well. Deserved it.
Brilliant, excellent. Still,
Okay, it's a difficult one, Chris.
Go on, mate.
Nights out with
Yeah.
your teammates. Which places did you go to? I'm not going to ask what you guys did, but any specific venues?
Yeah, well, I used to do doors as well, so a lot of the clubs I knew anyway. So,
Okay.
but we go somewhere like the Beetroot, or we go Annabelle's, or we go Samantha's, or we
Heard of that
we
one.
could we can stay local. We can go to Rudolph's or Corbury Club, so all over the place really. Or pub, just stay in the pub all night. We used to drink in the half moon in Palmer's Green, and hang on, she's over here. She's listening. She's doing all that.
Sorry.
That's right. No, but so mainly in the West End, we get in a cab and away we go.
Was it most of your teammates going, or was it just a few? Because I'm guessing some people might be married and they didn't want to go, or whatever it was.
No, even if I was married at the time. But yeah, no, it was mainly our team. It was say 5, 6, 7 of us, and then a couple other people would come from other teams as well, and we just all meet up. We had a lot of friends. It's one thing in the league you made a lot of friends even from the opposition. I've become very good friends with Shags, Nick Shagley. I've become very good friends with him. Tony Giorgio, I've become very good friends with him. Serge, to this day, still cuddle each other. Salamina Serge. Yeah. I mean, we used to have fun, and it was fun. We had fun. We did have fun. We took the game seriously, but at the end of the day, it was all about fun and enjoying ourselves. And that's what we did. And I think that showed in the football that was being played as well. The freedom and the way we enjoyed it was.
Was there one game that stood out the most for you that maybe you and your mates still talk about to this day?
I think the Continental game still sticks in an officer. I think that's got to be one of an officer's greatest games ever. And we should have won the LFA that year. We got knocked out in the semi-final, unfortunately, over at South London. But that game where we were 4-0 down, 4-1, we had a player that broke his leg, and then to turn it around the way we did, and Tony Costantino hat trick, Peter scored the other one, and it was just the way we just performed that second half. It was just bang, 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 hit him hard, scored early, and it was just there from there. Because I think in the first half, I think we stood back and we let them play, and we were a bit in awe of them because they were good players. You had your Leroy's and they used to play in the Greek League as well and in the Midweek League, and they were good players. But in the half time, we had a few strong words. We said a few bits and pieces. We made 1 or 2 tactical switches a little bit, and we went out in the second half and we done the job, and we got our result. And for that day was probably one of the best games for me. Okay. And obviously, another achievement for me was when I took over Salamina, first season winning the LFA. With them. So it was good. So yeah, I was happy. I
I was happy with my career, happy with what I'd done in K.O.P.A. I don't think I cheated anybody. I think I performed, and I like to think that I was decent enough to perform and do my job.
Hello. Well, one more thing before we bring up the photographs. We have to bring up the photo album, I like to call it now. If there was one player you played against but never got the chance to play alongside, who would that be?
Tony Giorgio.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, Tony Giorgio. Because I think Tony, because at that time, I think Tony left the Greek League a little bit early. And when we played against him, but I never actually, when I joined Ammonia with Jimmy Cattle, Tony wasn't there no more. And yeah, so I think Tony Giorgio. I played with Shags. I played against Shags. Very strong, very good. Played a lot of the other boys, but because I played midweek as well, for Nick, we all played together as well. So, I was fortunate. But with Tony, I never played with Tony. I played against him a couple of times.
Lovely. So, Mike, shall we do the photo album?
Let's do the photos.
This is your life. Right. The first one.
All right. Just there, next to Laggy and Theodoro, and my cousin Chris Theodoro. Blondie at the end. Andy Gotch in the jumper over there. Sorry.
Is that Mario in the middle? Is that Mario?
Where?
Right in the middle. No, that's not. No, that's not.
No, that's me. That's me. That's my brother Andrew.
Right. Yeah. Is it Andy Summer at the bottom? Bottom right. Is that Andy Summer? Bottom right.
Yes. Bottom right.
Summer,
Yeah. Andy Sava. That's Johnny Hartnell. That's Mike. Blondie. Andy the goalkeeper. Sava.
Yeah.
That's Gogo. Oh, no, that's Kiriago. The chairman.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Andy. And that's Laggy Polari.
Where's that? I'm trying to see where that is. Where is it? Is that New? It's not New River, is it? Where is that? I can't make it out.
That is New River.
That is New River, isn't it?
Yeah, that's New River. Yes, it is. That's
New River. It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
1986 Cup winners. That's World Cup year as well.
Yeah.
I like that kit. Reminds me of Everton. Lovely. So what was special about that season? Apart from winning the cup, obviously.
Well, we had a really good side. I mean, we had. If you look at, if I go from, before I start from the back, Andy was a solid goalkeeper, very good, very agile, good reflexes, good shot stopper. Myself, Gotch will sometimes play, and I had Summer as well. So me or Laggy, me and Laggy together, or me and Summer together. Chris Theodoro, my cousin, in centre midfield. We had Johnny Hartnell to his right. We had my brother Andrew next to Chris as well. Gogo as well. Do you remember? Remember Gogo? Summer's cousin.
No, I don't know. No.
Gogo shoes. But yeah, Andy Sava, his first season, I think that was, at left back, very good player. So no, we were complete. We were friends. We were friends, and we won our battles. That was the most important. We won our battles. On the day, we won our battles. Each individual had a battle, and we won it, and that's how we ended up winning the cup. And we finished runners up that year as well, and we should have won it. To be fair, should have won it. Can't remember who actually won the league, but yeah, we should have won it.
Was it a last day of the season kind of thing, or was it?
No. I think we got wrapped up 2 or 3 games before, and that's why I think we were a little bit more relaxed when we had the cup final.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're going to pick something up, because I don't do second. I don't do runners up. If you come second, you win. You win nothing. So
Second, you're last.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter, does it? So we had to win something, and we done that. So
Bomber.
yeah.
All right, on to the next one. Division 1 Cup winners, 81, 82.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's me there. That's Mario, little Mario. My brother again, Chris Kalli, Sesto, Andy Sava's brother, Chris Andrews, Mike, Ted from Animos, Ted Kiriakou, yeah. Little Mario, Johnny Hartnell. Yeah, again, another very strong side. Very strong. We were young, we were fit. Look at that. We were all fit. We were footballers.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
And that was against a strong Olympiacos team as well. That's when the Shoebox was managing him.
Excellent. Right, let's go to the next one. Blimey. Is that in Cyprus?
Yes. Yeah.
Running track. Okay.
Yeah.
Magario?
We won a trophy. Do you know what? I can't remember the stadium, but we won. I think we beat a Bognor, and we won the trophy as well.
Bollon, so it might have been the Tirio. Was that in Limassol?
Yeah. Could have been, yes. Could have been.
Okay.
Is that the referee? Is that the referee getting in on the photo as well?
Yeah. That's another thing, I never got sent off either. Never got sent off.
Oh, yeah?
So I'm quite happy with that record. That was Andreas. That's Andreas who I was talking about. Before before HX joined us, Andrea was up front, and he was like a whippet. He was a proper Greek as well, proper Cypriot, but he was like a whippet.
Nice. I love these photographs because from time to time people send them to me, and someone sent me a photograph when I played Omonia in Cyprus, and I sent that image to my friend that's a journalist at Omonia Nicosia. And he goes, "Where'd you get this from? This is amazing." I said, ask no questions, I'll tell you no lies. Right, what we got here? Hermes,
yeah.
Okay.
It's me there. There's 88. That's when I took over, because Steve was manager at the time. That's, God rest his soul, that's Chris Andrews, who sadly passed away a few years ago. That's George on the right. Yeah.
Cracking hair.
Yeah. They all had cracking hair in them days. That's Giggs as well. Giggs Pantelli.
Giggs Pantelli, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That kit gives Watford
There's
vibes.
little Giggs as well. Yeah. There's little. That's Giggs, Flash Giggs. But yeah, this is a good side. Young team.
Yeah, look like it. No. All right. Okay.
Kalen. Yeah.
No, that's the.
No, that's the big thing. Yes, yeah,
the big team. Yeah. Some good players there.
Yeah, there
very
was.
Good players. Yeah, very good
Tom,
players.
He was a coach. I'm trying to think. I can't remember his name.
That Tom's son in the middle, isn't it? It's Tom's son.
Yes. Yeah. Andy. Yes.
And in front of him is that Dean Fenton, isn't it? One with the dreads.
Yeah.
Dean.
Yeah.
And then got Vass in front of him as well.
Yeah.
Trying to reckon some of these players, some top players.
Is that Toffee in goal?
Yeah, Nick Christopher. Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. Good side. Yeah, good side. And that's I'm sure that was sure this boy that's, remember Kiri?
Yes.
Centre forward. Kiri as well.
He was a beast, wasn't he? He was brilliant.
Yeah, very good player.
For about
good player.
for a few years, he would just score bundles every
Yes,
year.
yes, yeah. Very strong.
And, yeah, really good player.
And that, I think, if I remember rightly,
is that Richard at the back? Richard, centre forward as well, or playmaker, number 10. The black guy at the back. Is it Richard? I'm trying to think his name.
Do you know what, mate? I can't remember.
I think it might be Richard. I'm trying to think.
Or anyone that's watching, there's a comment section. Put the names down if you recognise any of the names, because that would help us a lot for sure. Okay,
yeah, that was a good team. That's the same team, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That must have been the night that you won the Interleague.
Interleague, yes.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Hold on, that guy, bottom row, third in from the left. Is that George?
I don't recognise him.
I don't. Do you know what, mate? I can't.
Well, there you are on the far right hand side. I know that.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great. Yeah. Loads of photographs. Loads and loads.
Richard Worrell.
Worrell, yes.
Richard Worrell.
Okay,
yeah.
Bravo there, Mike.
Yeah.
He
played for Omonia when I was coaching at Omonia. I just had to remember his name.
So how long was you at Omonia for?
So I had 2 stints managing them. I never played in the K.O.P.A League. I wasn't good enough. And being from South London, when I was at university, I used to come down and train with Cosmos. My local club. So when Shags was in his twilight years, I remember Shags, and he was, us youngsters used to look up to someone like Shags because he was not only had the experience, been there, done it, he was also the fittest player.
Yeah.
And he was incredible. He used to do Pilates and stuff like that before it was a thing, and gymnastics and stuff like that. From what we were told. So I had 2 stints of managing Omonia, and Brotherhood as well. I was at Anorthosis as an assistant manager to Alex Parsons,
right,
for a season. So then obviously I went over to and did the youth stuff with Omonia Youth. So I used to watch K.O.P.A from afar rather than being really involved when I was younger, just watching it. But I grew up in South London, so for me it was when Cosmos played any teams. That was for us.
There was 3 teams in South London at the time, wasn't there?
Is it Doek?
The other one was run by Andrew Shipping, Andreas. He was a chairman. Spark, Nick, played for Nick Sparrow. Up by Clyde and Purley way.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, Cosmos should train around the corner from where I live down in Elephant and Castle. So
that's right.
I used to go there and train with them because they had a second team as well that played in the local leagues.
Down by the Oval, wasn't it? Cosmos,
not far. Yeah, it's near Borough Station. There used to be this awful, horrible sand-based Astro, which is still there actually. Tabard, it's still there, but it was horrible to train at. But we loved it as youngsters. Watching these really good footballers. It was great for us.
Yeah, but see, that's another thing about the K.O.P.A and is we were playing on these AstroTurfs way before everybody else.
Yeah, you're right.
We were playing Market Road, and then they developed New River, but we were playing on AstroTurf at Market Road, the old style.
Yeah,
I used to have gases coming, the skin
like
coming off your legs.
Carpet over concrete.
Yes. It was unbelievable, but the pitches that this is what makes me laugh when they talk about pro teams when they go and play in Europe and they play on Astros, like Spurs played Bodie. They were playing on AstroTurf. Well, they thought, it's going to be too hard. You're footballers, you're professional footballers. A ball won't bounce. It won't go from there to there. Get a little under control, and you can play your game. It baffles me. But there you go.
All right, Chris. Final question from me before we wrap up. If there's one person that you would recommend to come on the pod, who would it be and why? Who would you want to hear from?
I think Nick Shagali.
Right, you're gonna have to give me his number then. Text me his number later. I'll get Shags on.
Yeah, because I think he'll have a load of, especially playing with Shoebox as well, and he was at IL for many years. Olympia was then IL. You know, it's yeah. I think I think Nick.
Brilliant. So you're still in contact with him. So
I will.
Put in a word for us. Give him my number, and we'll get him on soon.
Oh, mate, we'll do.
Brilliant. That's a great shout.
All right,
Chris. My last question.
Go on, mate.
My last question, mate. Obviously, you know, you played a long time in the K.O.P.A League, coached as well. How would you say the league shaped you as a person, especially in your early years? What did you learn from life experience, so to speak, through the K.O.P.A League?
Bloody hell. Good question. What did I? Well, I learned. One thing I did learn is not every player is the same. You know, I looked at myself first, and for me, it was about getting me ready to be able to walk out on that pitch and do my job and perform, and then work around my teammates and look after my teammates. And then when I was managing, was also give the knowledge that I have, the experience that I have, and pass that on to the team as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, not everybody's going to perform 10 out of 10 every game. So you have to understand that. And if somebody's a little bit struggling, is get somebody to go and help him. Go on, help him. Or say to him, do yourself a favour, mark him for the next 10 minutes. Get yourself back into the game. It's things like that. And I learned as well that you've got to, nothing's easy in life. You've got to work for it. Everything you've got to work for. And I think it's made me a better person. You know, I really enjoyed my football. I really enjoyed my sport. But I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the learning part of it as well. You know, I didn't need badges and coaching badges because I learned everything I had to learn. And I watched as well, even from the better players, even from players around me. And I think to myself, do you know what? I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that. You know, but I knew what my strengths were. And my strengths were, as a centre half, do not let the centre forward get past you. And I won majority of my headers in the air, and I built up, got us going from there. But yeah, everything about it, I think it made me a better player and a better person. And I met nice people. I met some good friends as well.
Perfect. That's a great way to end the show. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And for those of you watching, we'll be back very, very soon. So until next time, Kalli